and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ray Ellis.
Here.
Paul Hodson.
Here.
William Pauls.
Here.
Paul Rosenberg.
Present.
Laura Farmer.
I am here. We have no ordinances tonight, either introduction or public hearing, so we're going to move right to resolutions. Resolution 306, we're going to take by itself, which is authorizing execution of an interlocal service agreement with Atlanta County Improvement Authority. Can I have a motion for that, please?
So moved. I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Rosenberg.
Yes.
Farmer.
Abstain. Resolutions 307 through and including 325. Does anybody have any questions? If not, can I have a motion?
No. Make a motion.
Quick comment, Mayor, if you wouldn't mind. Tom, when there's resolutions from Public Works like this, would you extend an invitation to either the director or deputy director to join us?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please. Nothing else, Mayor. I'll make that
Second?
motion. Second, yes.
All right, you got that, James?
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Ellis.
Yeah.
Hodson.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Rosenberg.
Yes.
Farmer.
Yes. Resolution 326, authorizing payment of all bills. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Roll call?
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Rosenberg.
Yes.
Farmer.
Yes. We have an add-on supplemental agenda, resolutions 328 and 329. Mr. Friedman, would you just like to say something about those?
Yes, Mayor. As you may recall, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we had entered into an agreement with Hearts to provide therapeutic services to underserved population in terms of disabled persons and handicapped persons. That lease was ultimately reviewed by Green Acres, who disapproved of some of the contents of it on a number of reasons. And I'll just quickly point out the differences between what the old lease provided and what the new lease provided. The old lease called for a 20-year term. Green Acres wanted it no more than 10 years and then extended by agreement, provided they are continuing in their mission and doing the things they're supposed to be doing. Green Acres also wanted to increase the public access to the property itself. So whereas the old lease called for both the property on one side of Leaf Street, you might recall there's another township-owned property on the other side of Leaf Street. That's been eliminated, and Hearts no longer has access to that as part of the leased premises. As far as the portion that is on where the existing facility is, they have exclusive rights to about 50% of that area. The other 50% is dedicated for public use as well, or joint use, I could say. The building there, that was the old Powell building, is now an office of the Recreation Department to be utilized at our discretion. Parking area is also public parking, and so they increased the amount of accessibility to the public. The other, I guess, noteworthy change is that there's more oversight by Green Acres to this property, and I think that they wanted more say-so, especially with the prospect of them building this indoor riding center, which is going to be the subject matter of additional investigation and dealings with the township as we find diversionary property to swap out. So that's about sums it up.
Okay. They do have a good product out there, though.
They got a great product, and one of the other things I forgot to mention is that they have now made, and they're going to advertise on our website, that they will provide open for the public, not just their segment that they were mostly focused on, but that if the general public would like to go and be able to reserve and utilize their facilities by appointment, they will be doing that as well. Tending to senior citizens, school programs, those type of things are going to be more accessible now to the township citizens.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
So can I have a motion for resolutions 328 through 330?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Rosenberg.
Yes.
Farmer.
Yes. We have a few approvals. Can I have a motion to approve the June 18th Township Committee meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the payroll for the month of June in the amount of $1,700,226.19?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Township Committee reports. Mr. Rosenberg.
Mayor, I hope you'll indulge me for just a moment. This is my first Independence Day as a member of this governing body, and if you don't mind, I'll ramble for just a moment. For some of us, and I can see some veterans here in the office, blood, sweat, and tears went into the freedom that we appreciate in this country, and some of us, like myself, just count themselves among the lucky at being an American citizen. And while I would encourage everyone listening and looking to enjoy your time with your family, enjoy your time with your friends, and celebrate, not just because it's fun, but because our founding fathers actually inscribed it to paper that this holiday, this Independence Day, should be celebrated with fireworks and with jubilance. But remember what it cost us. Remember what this nation stands for and the manifest destiny that we have achieved in providing, pursuing, and protecting freedom, not just in this country, but around the world. And it's something that you should be damn proud of as an American citizen. I know I sure am. And just take it to heart that this great American republic, this experiment, was not easily won, and it is certainly not easily preserved, and it sure as heck is something worth keeping dear to your heart. So on this Independence Day, enjoy yourself and remember what we celebrate for. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Well said. Well said. Mr. Pauls.
Just following up on a couple phone calls I had. One was a complaint for the speeding on High School Drive, especially when it comes around the bend into the senior housing there. There's a crosswalk there, well posted. Speed limit on that road is from the school to Tremont is 25 miles an hour. They're coming around that bend probably at 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
If somebody's trying to go across that crosswalk with a bicycle, you're never going to make it. That's how fast they come sometimes. So talk to the administrator. We're going to check into maybe putting yellow lights flashing on the signs that say it's a state law, it's crosswalk, and just give people a heads up. High school has put a couple flashing red lights on their signs. It seems to give you a heads up on that. So we're working on that.
Will, just not to interrupt you, but on that, I had a meeting with Director Simerson yesterday, and he's on it, so
Okay, thank you.
I'll let you know what he finds out and what he's going to do.
Second call I got is on Mill Road. It's posted at 45 miles an hour. People buzz through there. Explained to the caller that, Mill Road's a county road. They wanted the speed limit reduced. So I'll pass that on to the commissioners, let them work on that. But that's my report.
That's every street. I mean, Chief, you're here.
Yeah.
You've been talking about speed in this town probably every other meeting for every meeting, yeah, pretty much every meeting.
People drive real. We know it's a problem, and as I said before, our traffic enforcement efforts are up compared to this time last year. And it's not just municipal-wide, I mean, it's a statewide change. And I know we're talking, COVID is like long gone, but law enforcement's behavior changed coming out of COVID. And now we're trying to get back to how we operated pre-COVID. And I would say that we're pretty much up to where we left off before COVID. And we talked last week. Should I stand up?
Sure. Yeah, why don't you? This way it'll probably get...
We discussed last week, or the last meeting, the county has an initiative going on now, and they had a good productive week it was last week out off of Route 30, Absecon into Atlantic City. I mean, I think it was it 200? Something like 200 stops, over like 70 summonses issued, and again, it's a collaborative effort between most of the law enforcement agencies here in Atlantic County. They have another one coming up in Northfield Linwood, and then thereafter it's going to be in EHT. So they've elevated, I mean, obviously, and increased our efforts to try to change behavior. But I've said before, yeah, we all have to change behavior. And I do know, and Captain Keen's in the back, and Tom's here, and every day someone's complaining about their little slice of heaven here in Egbert Township, and we can only do so much with the resources that we have. But I would say that right now we're doing very well as far as our traffic
Visibility is
enforcement.
getting increased, which is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully, and knock on wood, I think this time last year we might have had 7 or 8 fatalities on the books. This year I think we're at 1 or 2. And not to use that as a measuring tool, but I mean, that's the data.
That's good.
So,
Yeah, that's
All right.
important. That's important.
and one of those was really a freak accident this year. So it was 2, and so, all right.
Well, I got you here. Want to say anything else? It's your chance.
Gotcha.
Nothing on the top of my head right now. So.
Want everybody to be responsible with fireworks in there.
No, well, he said fireworks, and we already got some, we already did get a pre-complaint from, for a location on High School Drive that typically has fireworks every year, and we did some damage control or community policing after the fact last July, and but they were already knocking on our door, asking what we're going to do about it to prevent the fireworks this year. If we have resources available, we'll put them in the area, but again, priority calls take precedent. So,
What is the law on fireworks? Do you know? I mean, what can people set off in their backyards? I think you can buy anything you want now. They have tents all over the place set up right now. People selling stuff.
And BJ's.
Are they really? Jeez.
I'd have to look at the statute. I don't know off the top of my head. Actually, he was doing it today. So, yeah. So Captain Key, come on up.
Is considered illegal.
Come on down so you can actually be heard.
Yeah, ground room.
All right, so yes, perfect timing.
Yeah.
Captain Keen was handling this pre-complaint
Okay.
today.
So no aerial, right?
No aerial
That's the
projectiles, yes. So, and it's a petty disorderly persons offense. So, it doesn't really carry much penalty if you do get caught discharging a firework. But again, gentleman came in today. I spoke to him directly. It's been an ongoing thing in this particular area with this particular residence. So we have resources that we have set aside, hopefully, to go out there and prevent it from happening. But as I explained to him, and I'll explain to everyone else listening, you know, as Mr. Rosenberg said, it is a time that people do partake in celebrating the 4th of July by way of shooting off fireworks. So we kind of have to pick and choose our battles as officers, utilize our discretion accordingly. But we obviously don't want to say no to the citizens that have major concerns.
To be clear, I meant
So-
professional fireworks.
Again, it's the nature of the job. I mean, it happens in every community, every town, and it's just something that our guys and girls just have to deal with as they come in. So,
Well, I think the residents have to understand they're responsible for what they do.
yep.
And that's a big part of the law. That's why there's no aerial, because you can't control where the aerial goes as much as you think it's going to go straight up and bang and come down. And they're responsible. And that's why we don't have aerial fireworks other than people that are permitted with professionals.
Yep.
So that's the bottom line. And everybody likes fireworks. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But they shoot it up in the air and it goes in the wrong spot and starts a fire.
Yep.
Every
Tragedy
day.
happens. Yep.
Okay. Very quickly.
Yeah.
Captain, is there, how do I phrase this question? Is there a back door to it? So is there a municipal noise ordinance, you know, after 10 p.m. you can't be doing this kind of stuff?
Well, with the noise, you have to have the decibel meter to come out, and it's it's kind of after the fact.
Public nuisance type?
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the fireworks. So the way the statute's written, because it's a petty disorderly persons offense, it's a situation where if it's not committed in the presence of an officer, it's really difficult to follow up with signing complaints if they weren't present to see the actual firework get discharged.
Gotcha.
So, as I explained to the citizen today, it would fall back on the citizen who observes it, if they have video footage of it actually taking place, to take action in regards to signing a complaint against the accused family, people, subject to,
Reveille.
yeah.
Rebel.
That's why it's a,
Yeah, it's tough.
it's,
That's a tough.
it's a sticky situation, so. But, again, I sent an email out to all the officers, providing them guidance on fireworks today, just to be cognizant of what the laws are, the rules, and then followed up with the night shift that will be working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and said, hey, can you have officers saturate this one particular area because of the complaint that came in from the citizen today? So, but as I explained to
It'll be a busy-
him, for every neighborhood, there's
in every
it's
neighborhood.
one in every neighborhood,
There's one in
exactly.
every neighborhood.
So we can't be everywhere. So
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
But it's good to have what is the law.
Yes.
Because I don't think most people know.
no,
Just, you can buy it. You can buy things that aren't legal. And
and bring it into the state.
bring it-
then-
yeah.
yes.
so, all right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And then just, again, back to the traffic. We do have a DWI checkpoint. I believe it's July 18th. Is that a Saturday? I don't have the calendar right here. But we have a DWI checkpoint here in town. And that's kind of another kind of cooperative checkpoint, and it'll be on the Black Horse Pike in front of Cardiff Power Center, where
Sherwell?
yeah, well,
Oh, no, across the street.
across the street where
Across the street.
Pathmark was, but on the Black Horse Pike there. So that's always a good. Believe it or not, there's a deterrent effect, with that.
Oh, yeah.
Pushing the advertising out, and that's required by law. Again, social media will blow up. Why do they tell people that we're having a checkpoint? Because we're required to by law. The one thing I did, one of the thoughts last year at this time, remember, we still weren't up to speed with our staffing. We had a lot of resources that weren't available to us because either they were in the academy or they were deployed in military or maternity leave and things like that. This year, again, at this time, we're full strength. I don't believe we have anyone out. We have 4 in the academy now. But to add to that, one of those officers, which I am proud to say, one of those new officers that graduated the academy probably 6 months ago, he's actually leading the agency in traffic enforcement at this time to date.
Very nice.
So that's Officer Matt Perkins. Is that correct? Yeah, because
Doesn't matter, we're going to call him from now on.
yeah, no, and that's pretty remarkable. So that's good that some of our young officers are buying into traffic enforcement and knowing how important it is.
That's what helps having some of our local young men and women join the force, because it's where they live, it's where they grew up.
That's right, and he
They're
grew up here.
vested.
Yep.
They're vested here. That's awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Mr. Hodson.
So that's it. No. Real quick, wish everybody a safe holiday. The 4th of July means a lot to some of us. And also hope for the humidity to die down, because a person of my age, I'm really sick of the humidity. And I'd enjoy a nice 85-degree day with no humidity. Just thank our rescue squad. Myself and the mayor were at Sherman Memorial yesterday for recognizing one of our members. There was an EMT in this township that has passed on. And I want to thank our rescue squad chief, Chris, for bringing it around to the township, because you know how I believe public safety is the backbone of our community. Police, fire, and rescue. And sometimes the rescue's not really in the limelight. But we lost a member that was a good member of our volunteer service. I can't say volunteer service anymore, our paid service. We were well represented by the township. Our police chief was there with some of the members of the police department. I don't know where my voice is going, maybe it's the humidity. But that's what we need to do, is remember those who helped us with public safety. I often said, people complain, oh, it took the fire truck this. Listen, you don't care where that fire truck comes from as long as he gets there. Same with a police officer. Okay, you need a cop, he gets there, you don't care where he comes from. And same with our rescue squad. And our rescue squad is very busy. I think the service itself, Chris, or our chief could tell us that we're getting a lot of calls everywhere for an ambulance that sometimes we might not 20 years ago thought about calling an ambulance. So to our public safety, I think it was a good day, sure. We were well represented, and we remember one of our EMT members that passed on.
I wanted to give Chief shout out to the police department and the job they did with the graduation. The numbers was out of control. There were so many people at that graduation, and the guys did a great job of getting the cars in, getting the cars out. And very thankful they moved it from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock because we all would have passed out. So, as always, your department, I always say how great you are. And that includes the EMTs who were there and the little golf carts and all that, and the volunteer firefighters.
Yes, they did great.
I think it's important.
On that same note, thank you. I do want to formally recognize and thank the city of Hamilton, and the Hamilton mayor and the chief of police for Hamilton, because they did loan us their camera light tower.
Can you explain what that is to everybody?
So basically, it's a portable camera system that we can pull and put the cameras in the air. It's a 360 camera, and basically it's the eyes in the sky in an area where there's no cameras, and we can log in remote, and that's what we did at the command center, and we were able to just basically scan and look for, just to ensure people were safe. And we're able to use one of those cameras if we do see someone that may be, an outlier that stands out. We could track them and fall on one of the cameras from a remote position. So Hamilton was glad to donate or loan that to us, and so I wanted to let committee know that that's what the mayor of Hamilton, the chief of police got permission through them, and we were able to do that. So I wanted to publicly thank Hamilton for that. So. And we are, on that same note, we are receiving a 30-day trial period from the same company to use on National Night Out and thereafter, which I kind of lightly discussed with you. And we intend to give you or a couple remote logins so you can see in real time the value behind having something like that in our community.
That was a good resource, Fred, because I know they use it for Mount Carmel.
They do.
And that's what they use it for. And today you can't. It's irreversible assistance if you have a problem.
Absolutely, and it records. It's all recording, and it's in the cloud. So if something were to happen, there's evidence available for that. So, and I'm the same. Just so you know, that I am paying back to favor on Mount Carmel. I promised that we would provide an officer for 3 hours to take a traffic post. And that officer will probably be me, but that's okay. It was so.
They'll feed you. You're in Hamilton.
The
They'll feed
water
you.
ice is good, Fred. Yeah.
They'll feed you. Thanks, Chief. I just really would like to wish everybody a very happy 4th of July. I couldn't have said it better than you did, Paul, so I'll leave it at that. But I also want to commend what Ray said regarding the police that night of graduation. There's 2 nights that I think the face of EHT shines, and one is graduation and the other is nights out. And it was a wonderful night. It seemed to be an event-free night. I don't think anybody even passed out, which was a blessing considering how hot it was. But between the coordination of the school, the police department, probably Public Works, their people, our EMTs, and our fire department, it's outstanding. And the town looks good. I mean, for visitors coming in, we present a good show that night. And that's a lot of work to do. So.
And Atlanta County OEM as well.
And they're there too. Okay, that's right. But it's a great night. And we were all there, and well, just like you, I was very thankful. Very thankful.
I enjoyed the frozen water they gave me. It melted in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was melted. Melted
Our
what?
rebranded police cadets, they're growing, and they were there, and they did a really nice job.
Yeah, they did. They did. I talked to a couple of them, so that was great. But that's really it for me. I just want to wish everybody very happy 4th. Be safe. If you've got dogs that freak out at fireworks, please take care of them. I have one that is petrified. So, Tom, do you have anything?
Nothing, man.
Mark?
No.
Nothing? We're good? Okay. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address a governing body on Ed? Sir, you'll be next.
Thank you. Really a statement, Mayor, members of the committee. On Friday, I sent a request into Public Works that there was a B-style inlet, storm sewer inlet, and it had a cracked curb piece that was falling into the inlet, and the back plate was missing. I don't know how it happened, but it was fixed on Monday morning.
Oh, wow.
And it was late Friday. Can't get much better than that.
As you go power.
Well, I think we had one due to heat. People don't realize the heat will buckle roads, and I think that may be the same one that was buckled with the heat.
Well, this is a cast iron curb piece.
Yeah, but the curb went out too, and then...
No, just the curb piece was broken. I think somebody hit it.
Okay.
Because the back plate was missing altogether.
We have another one
And it was
that's...
falling in, so I believe someone hit it.
Okay.
So hopefully they got a flat tire.
Well, we'll make sure Public
Or
Works
Ben
knows.
Grimm.
Yeah, they fixed it quickly. That's awesome. We'll make sure that
We got one that buckled.
we send out your congratulations, or thanks to
Said
them.
it was.
You gotta be crazy busy over there right now.
Pardon?
Your neighborhood's gotta be hopping this weekend.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids, it was right close to the marina, so there's a lot of kids in that area, and that's why I called it in.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it, but I was impressed with the response time.
That's good. Thank you. Sir,
Hello,
we just have your name for the record,
my name
please?
is Rick Comfort, and I live at 323 Reynolds Road. We have a little, that's in Little Mill, and we have a little conundrum over sidewalks over there and ADA responsibilities and et cetera. And with all the people now in their 80s living in there, the sidewalks are becoming an issue, and people are walking in the streets now and pushing all kind of little contraptions around in the streets because of the sidewalks. So we have, they thought that the sidewalks were always part of the master plan, part of common property, but they're not. We did some research and found out they're part of the right-of-way, and they're actually municipal property. And the municipal government's responsible for the sidewalks and maintaining the ADA responsibilities. So the issue is you have an ordinance that says the homeowner is responsible for the sidewalk, but then the state says you're not responsible for the sidewalk if it's an ADA compliance issue, and that even though you're responsible for the sidewalk, you're not liable if somebody trips on it. So there's a big issue going on right now where we'd like to get the, they're called the visually impaired little pads that you put up because the ramps were put in, but they never put the little pads in with the little bubbles in them so that people that have visually impaired can't see where they're going, and they get to the edge and then they trip. So that's one of the issues that we're looking at. And that's supposedly, according to the people that I spoke with at the state, that it's a municipal requirement to meet the ADA
I'm
requirements.
going to ask our solicitor about this because I honestly don't know the answer to this.
Okay?
Well, this is the first time it's coming to my attention, obviously. So
Yeah.
if there is some background research material that you found out, I'd be happy you go through the administrator's
Sure.
office, forward what materials you have, what issues you have, and I'd
Okay.
be happy to look into it for you and work something out that
Okay.
meets.
Yeah, because it's getting to the point now where it's going to get dangerous with the folks that are, there's too many visually impaired folks in there that push around their walkers and everything, and believe it or not, there's one guy that's got a chest walker that he almost took a nosedive. So, and that's really what started this whole thing. Just for a little management of experience, I'm come from West Windsor Township in Mercer County, and we had the same issue with speedings back in the 70s. We were a very rural community, and all of a sudden, we start building developments after developments, and we got a lot of traffic coming through there, and there was county roads. And so, you know, you tried to lower the speed limits and stuff, but the problem was you have the 50 and 25 that were regulated. We had to actually do surveys to find out what 80% of the speed going through that area was to put the speed limits up. So it's just something, it's very difficult when you have rural and then you go to people moving in. You know, it takes long to change. So I'll be in touch with you and I'll go through some of that, but I appreciate any help you can give us.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it, Mr. President.
And do you have the number? You can just look on the website?
John,
Or John?
John's gonna
John's
talk to
gonna
me,
get you. Perfect, perfect.
Johnny on the spot.
The sidewalks over there.
Yes. Is there anyone else that would like to address the governing body? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have a need for a closed session?
No, ma'am.
Everybody's so excited.
Are you sure?
Happy holidays. Looking up about it.
Well, then you know what that means? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Have a safe 4th, everybody.